Appreciate. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Avini Vibes. We're very grateful you're here with us tonight. It's August 7th, 2025. I'm your host, Christine Rolando, all the way from the Smokies of New York. Yeah, it's smoky here. We don't know why, or maybe it is those fires, but the air quality, not great. So, we're just grateful though that if you joined us tonight, if you're a guest, you could always raise your hand and wave, and we're here to support you. Just so you know, we have an amazing company, we have amazing products, the greatest leadership team, best company we say on planet Earth with the best products for sure. We're here to educate, to learn, but we don't make any medical claims and we don't diagnose or treat. So that's just for your information this evening. Thank you again for joining us. Try to get you out of here at about 40 minutes or so. If you want to ask a question, just raise your hand and we'll try to get around to those questions. And for some reason, if we run out of time, we don't, we'll try to always get back to you and answer that. But thank you, Carol Witt. She's not on camera tonight. She's with us though in studio. So we have a very, very special guest and wonderful presenter. Had a lot of people ask after she presented last time if she could come back and join us. And one of the questions that people always seem to ask about when Lisa speaks is, can you talk about leaky gut? Can you talk about what that is and how these amazing Avini products can help with a leaky gut? And what is a leaky gut? So with that, I'm just going to invite you to the floor, Lisa. Lisa D'Alessandro, amazing woman, nutrition. She knows her stuff. She knows her field. And just share for our newbies, Lisa, a little bit about your own history and why you're in the field that you're in and what you do. Thank you, Lisa, for joining us.
Thanks for having me on here tonight. Hello, everyone. So, what got me into this field? I started 30 years ago down the holistic space when I started off as a massage therapist, and of course, battling our own personal problems, GI issues, and all of that. Then I hit my 40s, had my last child, and I thought I was going down Dementia Boulevard, along with my son becoming this head-banging baby boy at the age of 1, led me to doctors not having the answers for GI issues for my son until I brought him to a naturopath, and she was like gluten, wheat, soy, dairy, nuts, the whole gambit. And that's where I kind of dove in more to uh, working as a nutritional gut health coach, and I lean more to working with the gut-brain axis, mental health, because of my own struggle with dementia. I can tell you when you give your body what it needs, and you can reverse all of those, bad diseases in the body. So we are what we eat, digest, and don't excrete. I think you all agree on that. And one of the most important overlooked and pieces of the system of the gut barrier is the gut barrier. So many people, we've been born into this matrix. Until now, we're just starting to understand you know, how many toxins, chemicals, culprits are in our foods, that we're eating and consuming. So the lining of your intestines is made up of these tightly connected cells. I don't know if Carol was going to put up the picture or not, but
Right.
that gut barrier should be more like a Berber carpet, but it becomes, with time, more like a shag rug, and those tight junctions open up. Uh, Leaving us kind of not absorbing the nutrients that we need, and more so the our gut is our internal security system. When it's working well, it keeps harmful substances out of your bloodstream. But when it's compromised, it gets things like toxins, undigested food particles, and inflammatory compounds, setting off the chain reaction that doesn't just affect your digestion, but also your brain, your nervous and immune system, where 70% of the immune system does lie. And of course, your blood and cardiovascular system, and why heart disease is still, the number one killer in the United States. So the gut is ground zero for most Americans. We do have leaky, inflamed, dysbiotic guts due to the standard American diet, which is sad, because does consist of so many inflammatory foods, today's grains that are sprayed with glyphosate, processed foods loaded with heavy metals, coffee with mold, sugar in all kinds of drinks and food sources, and the animal products, again, loaded with antibiotics, hormones, and fed that poor uh, grain diet as well. So if you're eating clean today, organic, we still are recognizing that it's still, you know, sprayed with heavy metals and all of that. But another insult to it is stress. And this all triggers inflammation. It disrupts our hormones. It damages cells and tissues. It interferes with the body's number one priority. That is the immune system. It disturbs that microbiome, that biome of good bacteria versus bad bacteria, and causes so many nutrient deficiencies. Um, so the gut barrier is that single layer of tightly connected cells that you see in the picture here. Um, and it potentially, you know, food particles, everything crosses into the bloodstream, and that is more unsettling because you know, these junctions act like the gates, allowing all the nutrients and toxins to kind of pass through. So when that gut barrier isn't working seamlessly, and protecting you from foreign particles and stuff like that, we just have a rise in what we know today as autoimmune disease, chronic inflammation, neuroinflammation, frequent colds, skin issues, food sensitivities, brain fog. So a lot of the autoimmune disease disorders, or if you're struggling with spiraling down with one after another, like diabetes, even bad cell disease, that's where I highly recommend. I don't know if you want to bring back, but I love Ars Immunity product for this reason. Um, Ars Immunity is like the Goldilocks effect with all these beta glucans that are in here. Uh, so it works on the gut brain. I don't know if anybody's heard of the gut brain axis. Our axis is our nervous and immune system that is most of the time overreactive. So what it does is just kind of primes it and kind of modulates it to where it's in perfect harmony and doing what it's supposed to do, and working with, our immune system to help us feel better, do better. Um, and basically, there is only one disease, and that's cellular dysfunction because of the silent inflammation, which we can all say, you're not ill, you're really intoxicated, infected, because a lot of these, when we have so much inflammation, heavy metals, mold, this is what our parasites thrive on, our viruses and mold, yeast, all of that thrives on. So we have so many underlying infections on the, that can come up and all of that. So um, again, most of us are starving of mineral deficiencies. I have this, I don't know if you want to bring back me again, but I got this, you're not sick, your body is starving, and I could send you this. But this is by Dr. Ian Hosen. He's a toxic-free doc. And in here, he states, like, even heart disease, your arteries lack magnesium, CoQ10, antioxidants for repair, or high blood pressure, your vessels lack magnesium, potassium, and calcium to relax them. And I've heard Doug say this before as well. So much is so important that is due to that calcium magnesium pump that we have in our system, and the toxins and all those heavy metals compete a lot of times for the minerals that we need in our body to function optimally. So it is really important that we avoid those foods that damage the gut, like excessive alcohol, ultra processed foods, chronic stress. But even again, we're faced daily by um, lots of stress and exposure to obviously toxins, heavy metals, and all of these pathogens. So I love that Dr. Rick also came out and with this fiber, because we are supposed to be eating 7 to 9 grams of fruits and vegetables per day. And I can even tell you, even myself, who I obviously, with being non-celiac gluten sensitive, I have that autoimmune. So I do eat uh, lots of good fiber myself. But it wasn't until I started with this fiber, and I've done lots of gut cleanses, lots of parasite cleanses. But until I started this fiber here was the first time that I've actually seen, yes, I did look, seen the parasites, knew I passed it. I was also passing biofilms with this. And the biofilms, you may or may not know, are those kind of mucus membranes, those parasite nests that are in the gut. So this is amazing. I even had one of my Parkinson's people start to take this. And he brought it to his doctor, and she was like astounded. She goes, "This is probably the best fiber I've ever seen, and yeah, you need to keep taking this." So you're not only supporting the healthy gut and colon, but you're supporting the bacteria in the gut, and that's why I love um, the fiber, the oat, the apple, carrot fiber that's in here, the prebiotics, because our gut needs a plethora of good bacteria. And today we know prebiotics, probiotics need to kind of really be used to really build up that barrier of the hundreds of trillions of bacteria that are in our gut. So I'm usually saying, it sounds cliche, but choose your foods like you would your BFFs and instead think PFFs. So you want to eat your quality proteins, your healthy fats, your good fiber, and your fermented foods. Those are so important. So I I think you might guess that the gut is the place where digestion happens, and the more that we, work on easing the digestive system, our metabolic function builds up in what the body can do for itself. So um, with that, that gut brain axis, we also know that not only is our immune system housed there, but again, our nervous system is housed there as well. And most of those hormones and neurotransmitters and hormones are emanate from the gut. And that is really important. So much of the signaling is there. And 90 to 95% of your serotonin, those happy hormones that regulate your mood, is made in the gut. Your microbiome, again, also consists of GABA, and GABA is one of those calming neurotransmitters that calms the body. And dopamine, again, those happy chemicals that keep you focused and um, really motivated and all of that stuff. So that gut brain connection and with our moods and all of that is really important as well, because our mental health is our definitely number one asset. And today they do targeted strains of prebiotics, probiotics, and phytobiotics on the market. I do also know that a lot of people will start to know that removing foods, but it is so important that there is a protocol out there to heal your gut line. Zinc, colostrum, all those mucilinogenic herbs that kind of take down the inflammation. But I do have a Heal and Seal Your Gut blueprint if anybody is interested in learning more. But it's important to eat, a good diet, lots of berries, good polyphenols, omega-3s, wild caught salmon, and chia seeds, as well as like onions, garlic, asparagus. These are all ways to build up that barrier and keep less leaking and more, obviously, healing. And reducing the toxic load. Drink your filtered water, reduce your plastic containers. Even today, with what we know, with all the microplastics coming through, I can say be careful of your, you know, Celtic sea salt is a wonderful mineral, but now there's cheap brands out there and they're filled with plastics. So really, be conscious of where you're getting your Celtic sea salt. If you're using toothbrushes with plastic bristles, you might want to change that over to natural bristles as well. Drinking with straws and stuff like that, using glass, stainless steel, and your cookware, all that's important to kind of work together. Uh, but I don't know. I said if anybody
Lisa,
has.
can you address like when you work with a client and you learn that they have a leaky gut from your diagnostic tools, and you start to use, let's talk about Cell Defender as the tip of the spear. We talked about the mushrooms a little bit. We talked about the fiber, but it's tip of the spear because we do have some new people on and they're listening and learning, but ask some questions regarding like the Cell Defender. How does the Cell Defender help us remove the heavy metals and this toxic burden that you're talking about?
Right. So when it comes to sequential of what we do and what we need to do, the cell defender, our livers are overburdened, and most people just don't realize it because of the tests and all of that. They're so overburdened, and what our body is doing to protect us, the liver is sending these toxins out into our fat cells, our bone cells, our brain, and surrounding organs and tissues to protect us. So it is so important that Cell Defender is kind of the first step. Honestly, I've walked people through, doing lots of food cleanses, liver cleanses, but this simple procedure of just taking one single perfected mineral and being able to, bypass our digestive system and get into our blood system and really pull things out from our cells, our cleansing our cells and reducing the toxic load in our bloodstream by simply excreting it through urine. I mean, it's amazing. It's one of the most critical steps and reduces that interference. So our inflammation, when it gets to our cells, it blocks our cells' receptor sites. So our cells, a lot of nutrients aren't going in, the toxins aren't coming out. So that has always been why to drink water. But for something that can magnetically, pull out those heavy positively charged toxins and heavy metals, it is amazing. And I myself started on this. I've always thought, when Christine was reaching out to me about zeolite, I was like, I know zeolite, but I didn't. They're not all created equal until I started looking into it. Because I had a mold exposure from moving. And of course, a healthier body can heal and fix itself. So me being so balanced, it really kind of affected my eyes. I had a virus in my eyes, I had ringing in my ear, I had a postnasal drip, and I can tell you that just within, the month of taking it, how quickly that helped to clear out and clear up my eyes and my vision. I was always sensitive to light, even in hazy days like today that we have here in New York with all of this the chemicals and the air pollution coming in. And I can tell you, we're so blessed to have Cell Defender because in that air, those Canadian fires were last time, it was by mines of heavy metals and minerals. So the air was polluted, is so polluted with so many heavy metals. But my eyes used to tear. I could walk into ShopRite or a Home Depot or something, and my eyes would just tear all the time. My liver health has never been better, and I have to say, Plus Balance here. This was another brilliant product Dr. Rick formulated, because one of the reasons is we don't realize so many people are walking around with genetic MTHR genes, which kind of disrupts our detoxification pathways. And even when the liver is so burdened, we do need sulfur-rich foods, or what Dr. Rick put together here with his adaptogens and all. It opens up the detox pathways to change fat solubles into water solubles. And what amazing, it's hormonal support, detox support. But the stories I'm hearing with releasing of, different things where people are seeing orange when they first start to urinate, when they take it, you know, that's your body. It's releasing some blockages that were there and being stored in that liver. So it's amazing, amazing, unique products that I just, so blessed to, be aligned here.
You have a hand up. Dr. Nikita, you have a question? You got on mute.
Sorry, I was just wanted to say that I love everything you're saying, and we talk about everything we want to do, but I just said wanted to add one little thing. If we can add that plus hydration in there to
So
get that.
absolutely. So when I say, because I'm like off track here with so much to say, but when I was talking about the calcium magnesium pump that is so important, and the hydration is so key for that, I've just sitting here talking to my husband about the same thing, because it took him so long with his high blood pressure and all of this to do this, and he's on the cell defender, and I'm like, no, you can't just keep drinking water. You cannot keep just drinking water. And people will realize it. As a massage therapist, I used to say to people, drink water, but I wouldn't drink that much because I'd hear my stomach, just rumbling around. And when we're just drinking water and just urinating it out, it means it's not getting into the cells. So the hydration does help that us get that hydration of good water into our cells. So yeah, good point. Thank you, Dr. Nikita.
And the other thing that a lot of the patients that I talk to say that when you have so much fiber, this is a really good uh, fiber we have, it can cause constipation. And because just increasing your water doesn't necessarily help you with the constipation, but the my son calls it expensive water, but the hydro, it really helps with making sure that if you have leaky gut, that increase in constipation won't happen, because the cell defender is making sure that it doesn't irritate the small bowel, but also that plus hydration will make sure that the water goes where it's supposed to decrease the constipation.
And we're all about truth here. So sometimes we can, if we are passing a lot of parasites, what I've kind of noticed, and we can get a little bit more bound up with the fiber, and bound up if we are passing a lot of parasites. So yes, drinking more water, and knowing that, if you have to reach out to somebody to work through, a little constipation, there's lots of things you can do to support and lubricate, like taking olive oil at night, before a tablespoon of olive oil at night before you're going to bed too is helpful to kind of loosen things up and get things moving. So
Thank you, Lisa, and thank you, Dr. Nikita. Amy P, you had your hand up, and then Gary will take you next. Amy, you want to unmute, please?
Okay. My question is, and somebody just asked me this today, they're always looking for really high quality probiotics. Is this are all these products going to make it so that you don't need to go out and buy probiotics, or do you still need to take a probiotic?
I am a firm believer that we do need to supplement some ways. And one of the few of those things are vitamin D. I really believe vitamin 3, D3 and K2 is really important, especially even for those tight junctions to keep them together. Um, Probiotics and prebiotics, I still suggest you build up that bacteria. I mean, this is life, and we are in it deep with stress and always fighting, viruses, bacteria, and stuff like that. You want to keep your biome, really built up with good bacteria. So it cannot hurt. I really do suggest, doing pre and probiotics and good omega-3s to cut down the inflammation uh, with that to help support our gut and brain.
And the omega-3 is in the plus cardio, and the vitamin D3 is in the life plus balance, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
If
Thank
you're
you.
not getting out in the sun enough during the day and you live in the Northeast, then during the winter months, you might want to increase your D3. You really can't go too wrong with that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
The,
Amy, for the question. What about you, Gary? You have a question? Oh, Dr. Nikita, do you want to comment?
yeah, I wanted to say the plus fiber, the things that that's also included in that, um, the it helps feed the good bacteria in our system. So it's almost like it's rebuilding our probiotic things in there. So it's giving us short-chain fatty acids in that fiber mixture. That's what's so awesome about it. It's feeding it, it's reducing the inflammation, that it's allowing our good bacteria to grow, which makes our prebiotic effect so much better. So
Yeah.
it all helps.
Thank you for the comment. Gary?
Yes, Lisa, great information. You mentioned the calcium magnesium pump several times. Say more about that. I'm not familiar with that phrase.
Uh, this isn't really in. Dr. Nikita might be able to speak more about that. How the calcium magnesium pump works for all the functions in our bodies. So we need lots of minerals for every function in our bodies. So sometimes, again, minerals will compete for one another to get into the cells. And I don't know more. Maybe Dr. Nikita knows.
Okay. Real quick, remember this layer in our small intestines that act naturally when it's healthy. It's like a coffee filter. So it's real thin holes. Everything goes where it's supposed to do. When you have a leaky gut, you have tears instead of those nice little filters. And so why is that important is because each one of our gut cells have those sodium potassium pumps in it. So every single cell has that pump in it. And so these pumps pushes out sodium, right? And then our cell brings potassium in. So it creates this electrical nutrient gradient that cells need to function. So if we don't have that infrastructure, then those things don't work. And we all know magnesium plays a beautiful thing in our ATP and activating ATP. So we need that for energy. That's why when you take a magnesium pill, you feel kind of energetic because it helps that electrical gradient. So it's really important when you have a leaky gut or anything that's act or irritating your small bowel, because each one of those individual cells that are irritated has that sodium potassium pump. And if it's messed up or it's irritated, you won't get the magnesium, you won't get the energy you're supposed to have, and your cells won't be able to expel the toxins and the things it needs to in order to be healthy.
Great. Thank you.
Is that all? Anything else, Gary?
No, thanks. That
Okay.
helps.
Comments regarding a leaky gut. A client comes to Dr. Nikita or Lisa, and they have a leaky gut. They get a diagnosis. They know this is going on. Do you heal it once, and does it go away, or do you always have to keep addressing the situation? Can you heal a healthy gut and then get on, say, healthy maintenance?
It's all
That's
about lifestyle, it's all about, what we choose to do. Yes, once you can heal a gut, but you have to stay on top of it. You have to make those right choices. Are you getting, enough, sleep? Are you moving correctly? Even all of this plays in balance, keeping our bodies in balance. There's so many underlying stressors always, are we exposed to a virus that's coming? So all of these things play factors in, um, how we have to maintain our gut. And that's kind of why I think, yes, doing fermented foods and, taking that, it depends on, lifestyle. Is everybody eating fermented foods? And yes, if we're on this fiber, it is helping our gut. But when I see my testing going on, when I do, biofrequency testing and hair mineral testing, I see that, sometimes we need to do a gut reboot and, eat a plant-based diet for a little while, and do, manage it with other, probiotics. Everybody's individual. We're all
Mhm.
individual, what we're up against.
I like what you just said
And
about a reboot. We all understand reboot, what you have to do. So you get healthy, you start addressing this and change your lifestyle, change some of your habits perhaps. Yes?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Okay,
can I
just
say something? Can I say something?
sure,
Oh,
please.
the other thing I want to stress is a lot of times we want to take medications or pharmaceuticals to help things. And a lot of things that we take to help a leaky gut will stop our gut from working properly. So that's the reason why people keeps telling you to eat healthier or drink more water, right? But the underlying cause is you don't know what's causing the leaky gut. It's not like a mat thing that says this is why you have a leaky gut. You could be allergic to a pesticide that's in your sunscreen. You have no clue what you're allergic to or what's causing the irritation of your small bowels. So, taking these products, remember, a healthy body heals itself. When you take these products, every one of these products have things in it that decreases your stress, it decreases the inflammation, and allows your body the time to heal itself. So, yes, you can have a healthier diet, but making sure you have a toolkit to have in your pocket that you can take. I don't see many people in Avini having leaky guts. I
Yeah.
mean, if you do, it was relieved over time very quickly because once you're taking these products, you're consistently decreasing inflammation, which is allowing your body to heal itself. So, yes, you can fix it, and your body is fixing it for you. So,
Thank you for your comment. Hannah, you have your hand up. You have a question?
Lisa and Dr. Nikita, I just want to thank you all so much because what I saw in the nursing home when I was there for 20 days with people coming in and saying, I lived a really healthy life, but then all of a sudden when they had to have an operation or something, how healthy were they? They just didn't know what was going on the inside of them. And what I love about all of us is that I've been on these products now for 4 years, and I am just so happy because I'm the happiest I've ever been because I know that I have been taking such good care of my body on the inside that and I knew that when I ended up in a nursing home that I wasn't as fearful of what could happen to me because I had my nano silver, I had everything with me, but I was already strong and preventative medicine. I don't care whether a 20-year-old says that they're healthy. You still need your fiber. We still have these great solutions. We have these products that they're with you for life.
Good
Yes.
point, Hannah. Thank you so much for sharing that and saying that because you really you hit the home run with that comment. Anyone else want to ask Lisa a comment or Dr. Nikita before we adjourn for the evening? Any other comments? All right, Chip, you with us? Where's Chip? Chip in the house?
Hi,
Chip
I,
Littlejohn.
I, I
Oh,
have a
Deborah
comment.
Watson. Okay, Deborah Watson.
Hi,
Hello.
in terms of the gut, my grandson has eczema really, really bad, and I remember, I think Gusha, I think she was talking at one of the meetings, and she was talking about the gut. You need probiotics for the gut to actually help him with these eczema, with the breaks out and everything. And what can he do? He's 9. What can I do to help him with this?
When I hear skin issues, I always think liver, the skin liver axis. And really, I would say, working maybe, getting him on some cell defender to start with, easy enough to start with that. And then, uh, yes, a little bit of a regimen of, maybe good. Alan has something to say.
Nano silver for eczema
Yeah.
works
Listen,
Nano.
real well.
Directly on.
So
listen to
would I spray the
listen.
nano silver on the affected areas, or
Yes,
does he spray it to take it internally?
Spray it right on the areas, or you can use the gel if you like. That'll stay there a
Okay.
little longer, perhaps.
Okay.
on
It'll
Robin's
take care
call
of the bacterial
yesterday,
part of it.
or Robin's
Thank
call
you.
Go
Tuesday,
ahead, Pat.
on
It is.
Robin's call Tuesday, Marcy told of a young baby. So bad it was all over his genitals, his bottom, just
Ooh.
everywhere. And they used the cell defender, and then I think she did say, Sue, you probably know because you heard it too. I think they did spray the silver on him as well. But within
Yes.
a couple of 3 weeks, it had improved, and then by a month to a month and a half, it was really well improved. So
Yeah.
those were the cell defender and then the silver. But that's a great call for you to go and listen to Tuesday afternoon,
Okay.
Robin.
Community
Uh,
caps would be a good thing too, even if they just had to open them up for him as well, for that.
Does the Zumnini?
The immunity, the mushrooms.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Yeah. Deborah, thank you for your question. All right. Anyone else have a
Thank you.
question?
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Deborah. Chip Littlejohn, we're going to let you wrap us up, okay? If you would be so kind to come forth. Where are you? You're not in a tree, are you? Or on a boat. Chip's always on adventure. Maybe he's not going to be able to join us.
He was actually doing some training and said he would.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did call me earlier, but it rolled to voicemail, and I didn't get a chance. I called him back, but I didn't get a chance to talk to him. So with that, I'd like to just let you all know, Lisa, thank you for being here. Lisa, we'll let you do our closing thoughts, if you wouldn't mind. But please remember, we will not be here next week on Avini Vibes. You'll all be at conference, and if you're not at conference, we'll do the follow-up the following week on Avini Vibes. So Lisa D, if you don't mind, can you give us some parting thoughts before we close?
Parting thoughts. Well, August is National Wellness Month. So even if you just take one different lifestyle habit, and make that something that maybe you can incorporate each day, a little something, and start habit stacking, to make some different changes. If it's moving more, if it's just getting some more balance back, sleeping, a little bit, but stress management. So many people don't realize what a big piece that has to do, not just our mindsets and positivity and all of that, but really just taking the time out to deep breathe, chill, relax, calm, whether it's setting your phone throughout the day to remind yourself to take 4 deep internal breaths to calm the cortisol, and you're doing yourself a big favor. So hopefully maybe you'll think about doing some different new habits for yourselves.
I like that. Habit stacking. That's a great idea. So when we do come back in 2 weeks, we're going to ask you, we're going to go around the room. I'm going to ask a few of you, what did you do to habit stack? And what did you do, maybe something, like Lisa said, more positive in your well-being, in your lifestyle. So thank you, Lisa, for joining us. Please remember that the conference is next week. In August, of course, and the summit is going to be amazing. If you're going, have a wonderful time. Take lots of notes and bring home lots of stories for those that cannot make it. And I just want to congratulate all of you that work so hard to, if you're in the business, or maybe you're a product user, but if you're in the business, sharing. Thank you for sharing, because you're changing people's lives, and that's what we do here. And thank you for sharing. And the company does reward you financially when you ranked up, and I know everybody worked hard. So grateful for that. Carol, thank you for being always the tech person here, and those great questions. And we'll look forward to seeing you all in 2 weeks back here on Avini Vibe. So God bless and have a wonderful night. Go out and share. Keep Avini vibing. Good night, everybody.
Night, everyone.
Prayers in your direction, Christine.
Good night.